Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a bit of an event report that Sparx System attended last week. We were invited to the ISO TC211 event in Sydney, I believe, and today we're joined with Chris and Nithya. I have Scott here helping me out as well. Chris, tell us a little bit about the work that you do at ISO.
Thanks, Tom. ISO TC211, which is the Geographic Information and Geomatics Committee, was formed 30 years ago, and one of the reasons why we hosted the meeting in Sydney last week was to celebrate the 30th anniversary of ISO TC211.
Right.
Australia has contributed significantly over the 30 years of the direction of this committee, looking broadly at spatial information, but also trying to engage and interlink with other communities that need spatial information. And one of the areas that we're looking at more broadly is supporting location-based information in intelligence transportation systems, building information, digital twins, smart cities, etc. For that to happen, though, you have to have a good baseline of data and the tool sets to generate that data in a meaningful way. And Sparx Systems has assisted us significantly over those 20 to 30 odd years of your association with this community. We have now started to broaden out our links and our activities and our use of spatial to those other industries, and the modeling platform and the tool sets that have assisted us greatly to move forward at a greater efficiency than most other committees within ISO. So basically that is the fundamentals around that. Last week at our meeting we had 20 to 30 countries that were either physically there or online. We had a number of other liaison groups like the UN's FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization, some of the remote sensing communities that are developing standards associated with their communities. But for that to happen efficiently now across multiple sectors needs a good platform of modeling systems and development. And this is where Sparx Systems and its platforms is significantly improving our efficiency and our productivity.
That's interesting, Chris. That's amazing stuff. So the amount of data that the teams will be working with to develop these standards with all those geographic information systems must be massive at the end point.
We've now got around about 100 standards, and all those standards have associated platform and data and modeling capability. So we've developed and over the period of time, we've started to better understand how to manage this diverse interlinking information stack. And to happen like that needs some fairly good tool sets, but also a great relationship to companies that understand some of this work that we're doing. ISO TC211 is one of the leading ISO standards development group within ISO and IEC, and ISO Central Secretariat in Geneva are looking at ISO TC211 on the next phase or the next stage of where systems are going to and how do they then integrate better from now and into the future. And this is where we're really pleased to have a connection and also a long-term supporting base from your company.
Oh, fantastic. So, Chris, where can people find more about the ISO TC211 work?
It's got its own website and
Mhm.
its own link. So it's under ISO TC. Well, under ISO, there's a whole range of websites or links. And if you type in ISO TC211, it'll go to a public website which will give you all the information around the standards development, who's doing what, future developments, and so forth. So if you go to that link, that you'll find all that information publicly.
Fantastic. Well,
Behind the scenes, though, those member states have its own back end, basically, to looking at its internal workings, and this is where a lot of our work around the harmonized data model, registries, and so forth are being kept and linking up to Sparx systems for ProCloud.
fantastic. Well, we might add those links to the bottom of this video for anyone who wants to click on it. You mentioned the harmonized models, and I believe that there's also a public-facing view, a web-based view of that harmonized model that anyone can just browse. So we might add that link there as well.
Fantastic.
Chris, can I just ask a bit of a follow-up question? What kind of industries use that geospatial data? And in your workings with ISO, are there particular industries that need it and use it?
So the first real groups that we're looking at for better engagement is the intelligence transportation community, which goes under ISO TC204. And this is where they require accurate positioning for their future autonomous vehicles and so forth. We're looking at integrating our map systems into their in-car navigation system. So when you pull up that map on the in-car, we're now seeing both communities want to have a better integration of information, and near real-time information is coming on board. So we're seeing also the development of the car system as a platform, which are multiple sensors in it that will start to feed back into the whole ecosystem of information, basically. So that's just one area. The other area is around digital twins and smart cities, where we're starting to integrate the spatial component of that platforms that we've started to develop around the world, and importantly around how to better manage your information about your cities in terms of your transportations, where we're going to build centers, basically, how to integrate the services and utilities more efficiently. So all those utilities of like electricity, sewage and water, how do we manage that? How do we start to efficiently develop and build those systems that are fully integrated into your data models, basically, and instead of going from one department to another department to another department. So we're seeing that. The agriculture systems, we're also looking at efficiencies, especially in Australia, US and Canada, where broad acreage is the norm, basically, is how to efficiently use those machineries, integrating that information from soils down to soil moistures and so forth, using remote sensing and satellite information down to your tractor or your combine harvester, about positioning down to 1 to 2 centimeters of accuracy. So it's nearly autonomous, as a lot of big machineries are like that. And a whole range of where does spatial or where does location information fit into your environment.
It's
And
just
everyone,
amazing.
and
Everything
everyone
from
wants it, and everyone wants it and needs it, and is curious about where they are in the world or where they are in the cities and towns. Where are you? Navigation.
Thanks for that, Chris. That's amazing.
Fantastic. And Nithya, you actually attended the event on behalf of Sparx Systems last week. Are you able to tell us a bit about like the format and what you saw and what was going on?
Absolutely. First, I'd like to thank Chris for you were a wonderful host. It was a fantastic event, a 5-day event of which I attended for 3 days. People from all over the world joined in who were in the team of ISO TC211 to work together to identify the challenges. And there were I noticed a lot of brainstorming sessions happening in different meeting rooms. It was really good to see how people were collaborating. And what the interesting part to me is going from Sparx, I was so excited to see all of them using Enterprise Architect, and the models were in Enterprise Architect. And I got to meet Canute and Everett, and we had a very good discussion of how they are actually using EA. What are the different steps? How the teams collaborating, and all those things were exciting for me to see. And on the third day was the standards in action session, which was really informative. All the industry leading professionals of using these standards, they came in, presented their perspective of where the future is for the standard, what is the direction for ISO TC211 in the next 5 to 10 years. That was the most informative part. People from defense, from Bureau of Statistics, from survey of mapping, and land resources management from all over the globe, from India, Korea, Australia. All of them came together, and the day was very, very informative, in which I got to present from our Sparx Systems side on how. Yes.
So what was your presentation on this year? Can you give us a brief 30-second rundown of
yes,
what you spoke
absolutely. My presentation was how to use Enterprise Architect for standards development in a collaborative environment. I touched upon the topic why collaboration is needed, and what our platform called Collaborate for near real-time collaboration, which will also give you the ability to see real-time insights on the model repository, be it an architecture or data models. You can get real-time insights from the platform. After which I also touched upon the different deployment options, of which RAS, which is reusable asset services, is the main thing, which ISO TC211 is already using it for their harmonized model. That's where it's hosted. And in future, they can consider using EA on SaaS, on cloud, can be hosted, which will make things much more easier and enable seamless collaboration.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I guess if people in the comment section would like to hear that presentation, we might be able to get Nithya to do a recording of that at some point in the future, maybe one of our webinars. So if you haven't signed up to our webinar list, definitely jump onto that.
Yes.
That's all good. So Nithya, what were your final takeaways from the event from a Sparx Systems tooling perspective?
The final takeaways. One is I was able to see how the standards development and the entire industry is moving towards Web 2.0, supporting Web 2.0 and Industry 4.0, how the output is going, how the data is exchanged between different systems, and what are the challenges between interconnecting systems and the need for different data systems to talk together. So that was the main insight that I got.
Thanks, Nithya. That was fantastic. And thanks, Chris. Your insights are very, very insightful, for lack of a better word, and command of the English language.
Can I also add that our other sister organisation called the OpenGeo Spatial Consortium and ISO TC211 work really closely collaborative together of information and development of standards and specifications. So ISO TC211 basically does a lot of that that foundation platforms around for use of information, of data that's more broadly within our community. And OGC basically does those pillars of information that are supporting various industries and sectors within industries, like intelligence transportation systems or transport and mobility, agriculture, underground services, and those sorts of things. So if you like to look at it as a building block, is that ISO TC211 does those foundation bits of the stack, and then on top of that framework, OGC and occasionally ISO TC211 will build on those frameworks of standards for that to build up further. And this is where the close collaborations that we've had with OGC over also the 30 years. They're celebrating 30 years also next month, from the 2nd to the 5th of December in Washington. They are great partners around that, and we're seeing this modeling type of business model between the two sectors of development of standards of ISO and industry coming together closely and using the various tools associated with that. So the spread of that knowledge base is significant, especially when a lot of OGC members are from universities, and they are doing a lot of that heavy lifting of that development of that type of data and using the harmonized models and Sparx systems.
Yeah, it's amazing how two sort of international standards groups can be so symbiotic with their vision and the work that they're doing.
Yeah, so the week before in Seoul at the South Korean GEO for IA, the president of ISO from Geneva noted that one of the key areas of support that ISO and OGC collaborative have done exceptionally well, and they may look at that type of modelling more broadly to be used within ISO. So it's up there as a great example of collaborative work.
Yeah, right. Oh, very interesting. I'm glad that Sparx Systems Enterprise Architect can be at the heart of that collaboration work.
Absolutely, Tom. That's what I wanted to add that point as well. It was very interesting to note that by supporting ISO TC211, Sparx Systems is bringing together all the industries to collaborate. And it's great to see that we are providing that framework.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for your time today, and thank you everyone for watching online. Hopefully you like this sort of format of video. We hope to do a few more in the future. So give us a like, comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell notification to get notified of our next video. Thanks very much all. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.